In this edition of the Data for Inclusion initiative, we are going to talk about financial markets. Financial markets play an important role in building wealth for all economic segments and also in the functioning of our economies. There are myriad financial players, including government bodies and central banks, who are regularly analyzing the markets. For these players to effectively monitor real time economic conditions, they need to dig deep into large sets of complex data. They need to study past events, present conditions, and predict the future. The process of predicting the very recent past, present, and the very near future state of the economy is called economic nowcasting. But nowcasting is easier said than done given the lag in the publication of economic data. Sometimes the lag could be as long as a year. A potential solution was offered by the ECB, European Central Bank, in a paper published a few years back. This paper was called Nowcasting Business Cycle Turning Points with Stock Networks and Machine Learning, a mouthful. ECB trained multiple machine learning models to assess the state of the US economy by analyzing causal relationships amongst S&P 500 companies. And they came up with this two-state model to identify two economic regimes, recession and its complement, and the second model for the difficult task of distinguishing between three different growth scenarios: negative, low, and high. Now, the key point coming out of their analysis was that relevant economy-wide developments can only be imperfectly reflected in the aggregate data. So aggregate data is not enough. It may not provide the right kind of information in predicting economic turmoil. More importantly, the network structure of stock returns can be a proxy for economic turmoil and therefore a tool for policymakers, central banks, and other companies to better prepare and safeguard investors, especially those with less capacity to bear such shocks.